Hey, this is Jeff Costantino. I'm a Numotion ATP, and I'm here today to talk about the wheelchair process and what to expect when time comes. Your first thing that's going to happen is when you're in that multidisciplinary clinic where you have a PT, an OT, you have a respiratory therapist, you also have a neurologist, a dietitian, a caseworker, and a pulmonologist that goes through the room and talks to you about different things. The doctor will do a face-to-face examination where he writes in his notes the need for a powered mobility device. From that point, a physical therapist or an occupational therapist will come in along with myself, and we will do a full wheelchair eval to discuss the different parts and pieces and options that you'll need. Once that's done, we get our quotes and we get everything documented, and we send a product description back to the doctor on what was recommended, and the doctor signs off on that and sends it back, and then your chair is ready to be ordered. From that point, the chair comes in and we get it assembled, and we come to the house and we fit you to it. And that's where I'm going to go next is the fitting. Once you get the chair, it's very important that the chair is comfortable for you and fits you properly. The big thing is you'll be in this chair mostly 6 to 8 hours a day, and during that 6 to 8 hours you want to make sure you have options to stay comfortable in that wheelchair. So I'm going to go through each option and talk to you about the different types and styles of chairs. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the cushions. There's 1,000 different cushions that you can get out there, different manufacturers, different fabrics, different product. I'm going to kind of go over the three main ones that we use for our ALS population. The first one I'm going to talk about is the gel cushion. This is a gel cushion from Jay. It has the gel in the back by the well area. This is the gel that we have in this cushion. The thing about the gel cushion is that it helps with pressure relief by conforming to your bottom, conforming to your ischial sacrum, and suspending your ischials and sacrum to where you're getting complete distribution left to right, front to back. Over time though, this gel tends to migrate to the left, right, and forward and back, and it kind of leaves an imprint of your butt to where it's not being repositioned. So when you sit in there, you're bottoming out because the gel has been displaced. So it is a maintenance cushion in the fact that you do have to knead that gel back into the middle so that it doesn't have that memory of your butt and you bottoming out on that. The next cushion we're going to talk about is the Rojo cushion. This is a air cushion. It's one of the best pressure relieving cushions out there. The thing about the Rojo though, it is a soft cushion. So in the front, if you're pushing off your cushion like a foam cushion or a gel cushion, you're going to have a firm surface to push off of. When you're dealing with a Rojo, it's soft. So pushing off, it's going to go, your hand's going to sink all the way to the bottom. You might not get as much muscle to get up on this off of the Rojo. The Rojo is a cushion where you can add air and subtract air as needed. There's a valve here in the front where you put the air in and out. The other option that I like with the Rojo is it has a Quattro, which is 4 quadrants that you can order with this cushion. It has a button in the front where it locks air in once everything's been distributed. So with ALS, if you start to have trunk weakness and you're leaning to the right or to the left and you're weight bearing more on one side, the Quattro will have the ability to distribute that pressure to the side where the air is needed. And that'll level your hips out when you're sitting and help you be more comfortable over time. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the backs. Wheelchair back is very important on a wheelchair to support and position your trunk. It also can help with increasing lumbar extension to help you sit upright, and also it's definitely necessary for comfort. On this back, this is a normal contoured back that comes with the Permobil. It has a fabric cover. You can also get a leatherette cover if you choose. It has a soft foam that's on here that, again, over time will compress, and you can just change it out if it starts to bottom out by unvelcroing it and putting the new one in. On the sides here, we have laterals. These are not necessary unless you have poor trunk stability to where the rounded part of this foam is not helping with positioning. These laterals can be pinpointed to wherever direction we need to go, in, out, and we can move them in small increments. So as far as midline posture, this is very key to getting that if the back and the contour doesn't work. The other options that you can use are aftermarket backs that have slightly more contour. It ranges anywhere from 3 to 6 to 8 inches of contour that you can have in each back. A lot of people get those because this is not something that works for them, and they just need that little support to be able so they don't lean left to right or get thrown off when they're driving. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the tires and casters of the wheelchair. One of the big things that you need to know is your tires will be all flat free. They do have an option for the center tire and the casters to be air tires. The one thing about air tires is your ride will be a lot better than a solid tire, but you're also taking a chance of being somewhere and having a flat and being stuck. So I usually recommend the flat free tires for all of our clients, just so we don't ever have to leave them in that situation. The tires usually wear, the thread will wear. Once the thread wears, you'll start to see it go slick. That's the time that you give us a call. We can get this changed out and put new tires on for you. Your headrest this is a basic headrest that comes with the chair. It supports your head during different positions, tilt, recline, and that's something that we'll talk about a little later. If you have good head control, this is something that would be recommended at first. There's a more aggressive headrest for someone who has weaker neck muscles or they have head weakness. This is a Savant headrest. It's more of a cradling headrest. It also has a strap that goes across the forehead so that your head doesn't fall forward. Like I said, this is a little more aggressive for someone with weaker neck muscles. Our next feature that we're going to talk about is the armrest. Your chair can come with 3 different lengths of arms. You have a 13-inch, a 16-inch, and an 18-inch. That all depends on your arm length and your reach. The pads that are on here are a standard foam pad with a leatherette type covering. There is another option for a gel pad that would go in here. The gel pads usually aren't covered by your insurance, but for comfort level, when you're sitting and your elbows in this for a long period of time, that's one of our biggest complaints, is the pain on the elbow. So I feel sometimes like the gel is the way to go. The other option of armrests is a little bit more aggressive. If you have less arm movement and you can't control your arm when sitting and tilting, is an arm trough. This arm trough gives the lateral walls so that your arm doesn't fall off to the left or to the right. It also offers an elbow stop to help when you're going and you're tilting back, where your arm doesn't fall off the back of the wheelchair. And we try to put a little hump here. My finger's broken, so that looks weird, but we try to put a little hump to where your fingers can be extended so that you don't get contractures in your fingers. So this is a little bit more aggressive than just your regular armrest. If you need something just for a little support and not really positioning, we can also put lateral walls on the outside and inside of these arm pads, as well as elbow stops on the back. Now let's talk about the positioning components that you need for your knees, your thighs, and your hips. They have adductors that are pads that are mounted to the front of the frame, and this prevents your legs from abducting out, which can cause pain in the hip area over time. These pads can also be moved to the back for your hips. If your hips are shifting to the left or to the right, these can keep your hips midline, along with lateral pads that could keep your trunk midline to stop you from sliding left or right. And that's all good for pressure management. If you're sitting on an angle or you're sitting off, that could put excessive pressure on one area. So the key is to make sure comfortable you can sit as midline as possible. So we're going to move to the lower extremities. You have calf pads and foot plates on the bottom of the chair. The calf pads can be ordered in different sizes and can go forward, back, left, and right, and be positioned by the ankle or by the calf to prevent your leg from falling back or falling behind the chair. We have 2 foot plates here. You can also get a 1-piece foot plate. They fold up individually, or if it's a 1-piece, it'll fold up as one. There's a texture on here that is rough. So if you're someone who doesn't wear shoes, that can be a little bit painful over time. There is an option for you to get a gel pad cover for the foot plates. Sometimes that is covered by insurance, sometimes it's not. So it may be an out-of-pocket expense, but sometimes that may also be a necessity due to the pressure that could cause on your feet. I'm going to show you a few of the seat belt options that you have when you're getting a wheelchair. This belt is an auto style seat belt. It connects at 45-degree angles, and it has a pull strap for tension, and it's easy to take off and on. The other option would be a 4-point seat belt, and with this 4-point seat belt you still have that rear 45-degree connection, but you also have a 90-degree strap that anchors you down so the belt has no movement and your butt stays back. It's for someone who's has more weakness in their pelvis and their hips and sacral sits. It's to keep their butt back and position their body more upright. Because when you're sitting for a long period of time, that kind of position could cause you to have sacral pain and could lead to a wound. The other straps are your chest straps. We have two options for your chest straps. Your first one is going to be your chest strap that just comes straight across. And this is good for when you're driving in a vehicle. Quick stops, it'll stop you from falling forward. It's a very common chest strap, and we use these a lot, especially for people who are active in the community. The other style is a little bit more aggressive. It's a butterfly harness. I don't have one here now, but it goes over the shoulders, and it has a rear pull, which helps you sit more upright and reduces that forward slumping. The chair that you see here is a mid-wheel drive chair. It has a very tight turning radius. Your big wheel is center of your body, so you can do a 360 turn in very tight spaces. It's still good for outdoors, but you got to consider when you're outdoors, this wheel, the small wheel, is the first thing that's going to hit when you're going over terrain. Your other option is a front wheel drive chair where your big wheel is in the front. And again, that's a better outdoor chair because the first thing that hits is the big wheel when you're going over terrain. You're giving up turning radius though when you go with a front wheel drive chair because your turning radius is not as sharp. From that choice, once you make that decision if you want to do mid wheel or you want to do front wheel, and what I tell a lot of people is if you're going to be going to ball games, you're going to be going out in the community a lot, front wheel is the way to go. If you're going to be staying inside more, then mid wheel would be your best option. We're going to move into the drive controls. Your power wheelchair is controlled by drive control. Your standard drive control is going to be your joystick. Your joystick is going to be fully programmable. It's also going to be proportional. And what that means, if you think about a gas pedal, and the harder you push the gas pedal, the faster you go. It's going to be the same thing with the joystick. Proportional joystick, the harder you push that joystick forward, the faster it'll go. With a non-proportional joystick, such as what I'm about to show you guys in alternative drive controls, it's set at one speed, and as soon as you hit it, that's the speed it's going. It's not something that is steered or dampened. So with this type of control, if someone is having arm weakness or hand weakness to where they can't push this joystick forward anymore, we can go in through the programming and adjust the throw of the joystick. And what that means is the amount of force that it takes to push this forward will be dampened to make it an easier drive for the client. So if you get to the point where you get tired or you're having issues maintaining or controlling the joystick from fatigue, you can also have other options for driving. And that's what we're going to talk about now, alternative drive controls. We have first is our foot control that I'm going to show you guys. It's a gas pedal, and basically this hooks up to the wheelchair by the foot plate on whether either the left or the right for you to be able to use your foot to drive the chair. So if someone doesn't have the ability to use their upper extremities but still has full use of their lower extremities, this is a drive control that has been very successful. The next option I'm going to show you for alternative drive is a head array. This head array can be either proportional or non-proportional, meaning that the harder you push on this, the faster it'll go, or you can make it non-proportional to whatever speed the setting is set at. When you push it, that's the speed it's going to go. The head array will have 3 switches, left, right, forward. They'll also have an egg switch that we can have that comes off to be able to go into reverse. And also the egg switch is another switch that you can change the modes to go into seating or to power the chair off if you do a long hold. But if someone doesn't have the ability to use their upper extremities or lower extremities, this is an option if they have good head use. Our next item is a chin control. This is called a Hames harness, and what this does is it sits on your neck like so, and then this is adjusted up or down to your chin. And this is for driving if you have chin movement but don't have that lateral neck or head movement. And this is also has a switch that'll come off the side for you to be able to access on and off, as well as another switch where you could access mode for driving. This next system I'm going to show you is the Tolt Ability Drive. I'm holding right now a Surface Pro, and the Tolt connects to the Surface Pro if you do not have a communication device. This is a whole unit that Tolt can sell if you still are able to communicate but not be able to use your arms or your legs. This system is used for your eyes to drive, as well as you can use the computer feature on it as well, because it is a Surface Pro. The Tolt can connect to most communication devices. It isn't compatible with the Apple yet, but it is compatible with devices such as the Smart Box. The Smart Box is a communication device that uses grid software, and the Tolt will connect to that device where you can actually communicate and drive the wheelchair through one device. The Tolt Ability Drive was spearheaded by Team Gleason's founder, Steve Gleason, and I have Blair Casey, the CEO of Team Gleason, here to discuss how this was spearheaded by Steve. What's up, buddy?
Good to see you, Jeff.
Good seeing you.
So as Jeff mentioned, this alternative drive control known as the AJ13, made by Tolt Technologies, as a result of a harebrained idea that Steve had back in 2014. And it was around the time he was losing his ability to drive his wheelchair with his hands. And so he challenged Microsoft, and at a 2014 hackathon, Microsoft's Health Team Enable actually engineered a solution, and within a month they came to New Orleans and he had a prototype. This technology provides a tremendous amount of freedom to people living with ALS and other neurodegenerative diseases, and we're fortunate that we have great partners in Numotion that distribute this technology nationwide. And the impact that it's had on so many people, and the ability for actually a person with ALS to regain their independence, that's what we stand for here, and we're lucky to have like-minded partners to do so.
So this is John Morse. He's my seating technician here at Numotion, and he's going to be assisting me with showing you guys the different power seating functions that come with the wheelchair. We're going to talk first about the tilt. Your power tilt is the most important device that you probably could have on here for pressure management next to the cushion. When someone's tilting back, they're taking the pressure off of their butt and they're putting it onto their back, which is relieving that long-term sitting pressure. It can go up to 45 degrees, some even go to 50 degrees, but your 45 degrees is a really good pressure relief. While you're in this mode, you can also do another seating mode, which is called recline. Power recline is when just your back goes back. So if you're sitting up at a 90-degree angle and you're not comfortable, you can recline back like John's doing right now and open that seat to back angle and open your hips. When you're opening your hips, you're getting that relief, you're getting that stretch. The third thing that you can do with the power seating is the leg rest. So now that we're in this seated position where his seat to back angle is open and he's tilted 45 degrees, the pressure is really off of his bottom now. We want to extend the legs out now to where we can get some of that edema and swelling that's in his legs and feet and reduce that. So by doing that, the footrests are being elevated above his heart level, which will help reduce that edema. It also helps stretch and helps with circulation in the lower extremities. So these three positions that we have here are what you're going to get when you get your wheelchair. There is a fourth option, which is a seat elevation. With the seat elevation, it'll raise up to 8 inches, some up to 12 inches. And that's good for weight bearing or non-weight bearing transfers. So if you're standing, to be able to lift yourself up and get in that standing position, elevation helps with that. Or if you're not, where you need a patient lift or you need someone helping you, elevating up above the bed helps with that transfer as well as interaction with your peers. When you're elevated up, you can talk to someone at eye level. If you're in a crowd, you can elevate up and see above the crowd. You're not being looked down at, or you're having to look up and stretch your neck. It also helps with ADLs around the home. If you need to do any type of cleaning, reaching, cooking, you can elevate up to reach for your cabinets. You can elevate up into the refrigerator. So it's definitely a medical necessity. The problem is some insurances don't cover it, but there are grants through the Permobile Foundation that can help assist with this if your insurance doesn't cover. I'm going to talk about a fifth option for seating. I haven't done this a whole lot in the ALS world, just simply because it's a hard item to get covered. Is power standing. Power standing has knee blocks that are installed, as well as a chest prompt that's installed to help you to where you're in a standing position. This could help with bowel and bladder. This can help with circulation. The problem is, over time, stability can become a factor. So that's something to think about. It is another option. Again, it is a tough item to get covered under your insurance, but if that's something that you're interested in, you can definitely go that route as well for seating. So your wheelchair has 2 batteries. They're group 34 gel cell batteries. They're maintenance free. It's not like a car battery, where an old style car battery where you need to put water. It's maintenance free. It comes with a battery charger, and we have a little sticker on here. You want to recharge it all night, every night. Before you go to bed, plug it in and let it charge through the night. In the morning, you'll have about 14 to 15 miles that you can drive in the chair. And it keeps the lifespan of the batteries as well. So this is the battery charger that comes with your Permobile wheelchair. The 3-prong plug goes into the front of the joystick, plugs in, and when you're done, you just pull it to unplug and your chair's ready to go. On average, you'll do charge the chair for about 6 to 8 hours, and that'll give you enough juice to go probably 3 days on a full charge. But plug in your chair every night, charge it every night. That'll keep your lifespan of your batteries. One important, very important safety feature is putting the chair into a freewheel position. If you're out and the chair happens to break down and you're stuck in a certain place and you need to be moved, with the chair being turned on and locked, you won't be able to move it. So what you would do is turn the chair off if it's not off already. There's a release mechanism on both motors. It's a switch. You flip that switch in on that motor, and then you flip the switch in on the other motor, and that puts the chair in freewheel so that you can push it. Now what you got to remember, this is a 300 and something pound chair, so it's pretty heavy. So make sure that the joystick is turned off, because if the joystick's turned on, you will have some drag in the motors and it'll be harder to push. Now we're going to talk about the tires. We have a mid-wheel tire, your front caster, and your rear caster. You have 2 options when you're talking about tires: a pneumatic tire with air, or your solid inserts. Your pneumatic tire with air is going to give you a better ride, but also it's going to have a chance of getting a flat when you're somewhere and you can't have that changed in a community, out in the street, somewhere where a flat tire would leave you stranded. So that's why we recommend solid tires with the chair, because you don't need that headache when you're out in the community, or worry. The solid tires are going to be mid-year casters, and they'll be able to be changed once the thread is worn completely out, and you'll see that. And the tires can be changed very easily, pulled off, put in, new tires put on.